All right, so far we've covered some communication type stuff. We've covered some situational defensive type stuff. Now I'm going to get to some defensive technique and then some base running. From a defensive technique, okay, first off, we play defense with our feet, okay? We play defense with our feet, all right? We have to make sure we move our feet to make plays, whether that's moving our feet to get into good position to catch a ball. And sometimes that means coming in, sometimes that means going back, drop step, coming to get a ball, charging a ball. It all depends on the speed of the ball, speed of the runner, and the situation, okay, in our positioning. We also have to move our feet when we make throws, okay? Typically, when we make a bad throw, okay, you guys did nothing wrong except did not move your feet. Okay, if you move your feet and you move into your throw, you are going to make so many more accurate throws. Okay, if we just catch a ball and just kind of stand up, or we try to rush a throw and not move our feet, that's when you make throwing errors. Okay, move your feet to make throws. Catchers on pop-ups. Okay, and this happened a couple times this weekend. As soon as a ball is popped up, all right, and that you're the catcher, catch one that you got a chance to catch, okay, either right out in front of the plate or behind the plate or whatever, you're immediately getting your mask off, holding your mask in your hand, and you are turning your back to the infield. Okay, we're not going to catch that ball facing the infield like we are when we're receiving pitches. We're going to immediately turn around back to the infield. All right, now we're facing the stands because the ball is going to come down and back to us. Okay, it's going to be it's going to have spin that is going to bring it back to us. So we immediately turn around. Once we've found the ball, now we can get rid of our mask. Okay, but guys won't turn around, and then as you're trying to catch that pop up, it's coming down like this, and then we end up not being able to make the play. Whereas if you turn around, now it's almost like you're an outfielder or you're an infielder, and that ball's coming down to you. All right, so immediately turn around to make that play as the catcher. First baseman, okay, and this also applies to catchers on tag plays, but I'll use first baseman. All right, when you're reading the throws from the infielders and you realize that they're going to come up short, understand that that doesn't always mean that you're going to stride out and try to pick the ball. Okay, if there's time, and you ought to be able to see the runner out of the corner of your eye, if there's time, a lot of times the actual play is to drop step, exchange your feet on the first base bag, and catch a long hop, actually slightly in foul territory with your foot on the bag. Okay, there was a time this weekend where, we had no chance. I mean, the ball was pretty short. We took a stride out to try to pick it, and now we created an in-between hop for ourselves when the runner is still 30 feet from first base. If we just exchange our feet, drop step, and then catch a long hop, all right, and again, this is stuff that we need to work on in practice, but if you catch that that's an easy, long hops are easy. All right, short hops and long hops are a piece of cake. In-between hops, we never want to create in-between hops for ourselves. Going back to the catchers, same thing with a tag play at the plate. Okay, if you're set up to receive a ball at the plate, and the guy obviously throws you a ball that's gonna hop, we're either gonna pick it close to the ground on a short hop, or drop step, exchange our feet, and catch a long hop. We don't want to try to catch something that's an in-between hop where it's still on the way up to us and then try to make a tag. That's pretty difficult to do. Okay, so understand that we're not always going to go get the ball. Sometimes we actually got to drop step or retreat or exchange our feet to make an easier play for us. Pitchers, you have to change your tempo and you have to change your looks and picks. Okay, you can't just with runners on base, teams are going to run all over you and steal base after base after base. If we just come set, pitch, come set, pitch, come set, pitch. Okay, there's times where we're going to come set and we're going to hold, pitch, come set, pitch, come set, hold with no intention whatsoever to pitch, and make the hitter call time. All right, if it goes 6-8 seconds and he hasn't called time yet, you can always step off. but you have to change your tempo and you have to change your looks. If you just do the same thing every time, teams are just going to swipe bags easily, okay? And don't be afraid to pick off 2-3 times in a row, okay? We don't want to turn it into a pickoff fest, all right? We're not trying to pick off 8,000 times, but, you know, if a team can't predict what you're about to do, all right, guys aren't going to get quite the same jumps that they're going to get. And when you got a guy at second base, you might come set and look at him one time and deliver a pitch. You might look at him, look back, look at him, look back. You know, just change it up, okay? Change it up. Don't fall into the same tempo and don't have the same looks all the time. Catchers, and I saw a few different guys do this, okay? We can't, when the ball's in play, I mean, like we are in charge on the field, okay? As the catcher, you are the director on the field. You are the coach on the field. You're making calls. You're communicating the loudest. You're communicating the most. You've got to be more engaged, all right? And I hate to say more engaged, but you have to have the mentality that you're going to be more engaged. Hopefully everybody's pretty focused, all right? But you have to be so engaged in what's going on. Twice this weekend, our catchers fell asleep on us, and a ball ends up getting thrown to the plate for a tag play. One guy was standing like 3 feet behind home plate, so catches the ball and then has to go up to home plate to try to make a tag and runner's safe. The other guy was standing about 3 feet out in front of home plate, just kind of standing there, and all of a sudden we get a throw from our shortstop, who is our cut. We get a throw from our shortstop to home plate, and you know, we're nowhere near home plate. Like the ball gets to us, but we can't make a tag. All right, we have to make sure we stay engaged and know that the play is never over. All right, the play is never over. We can't just get stuck in no man's land watching, and that goes for everybody. Okay, you never ever have a play where your responsibility is just to watch the play. Okay, never. Okay, never. You always have somewhere to go, and you know it's just like in football. They talk about going till the whistle. Okay. Well, in baseball, you better make sure that you're going until the pitcher gets the ball back and he's on the mound. Okay, we have to make sure that we don't fall asleep and just get caught spectating. Base running stuff. Okay, base running is the most underappreciated aspect of the game of baseball. Games are won and lost with good base running. Okay, we lost a game. Okay, we lost a game with base running this weekend. Okay, that game that we lost 4-3 to the Rocks, we were up 3-0, and quite honestly, we probably should have blown those guys out had we run the bases better. Okay, we gave up some outs on the bases, and then there were runs that we would have scored had we run the bases and taken the bases that they had given us, but we didn't take them. Okay, we played kind of lackadaisical and kind of sat back, let them get back into the game. You know, and of course, you know, guys want to point to hitting and pitching and stuff like that all the time. We lost that game on the base paths. Okay, we have to run the bases better. Part of that is attitude. Okay, part of that is attitude. We always have to be looking for the extra base, and we can't have fear. Okay, we can't have fear. Now, we don't want to be stupid. We don't want to just run into outs. We don't want to, you know, give up, we don't want to make bonehead plays on the bases, and now all of a sudden there's outs that they don't even have to get just because we're running into them, but we want to put pressure on the defense. Okay, always look for the extra base. Base runners, multiple times this weekend, there was a bang play at first base, and our base runner going down the line steps on the back side of the bag. Okay, the front side of the bag is about a foot closer to home plate than the back side of the bag. Okay, a little more than that, honestly. Hit the front of the bag. Just common sense. If you hit the front of the bag, you're going to get there quicker, and you got a chance to beat that play out. Instead, we were out both times on plays that were super close. Hit the front of the bag. All right. Trail runners on double steals. All right. So first and second, when we got runners on first and second base, and you're the runner at first base, your lead's going to be a little bigger. Okay, a little bigger than if you were just on first, because the first baseman shouldn't be holding you. All right. We'll play some teams where they are, and that's not correct. but guys should be behind you or in front of you. You got a bigger lead. You're always peeking out of the corner of your eye at the guy on second, and if he takes off to steal, you go too. Okay, we stole third, and our guy at first base just kind of hung out. All right, you're peeking at that guy, and your lead's probably 3 or 4 feet bigger than you typically would be. All right, and you watch him, and you're kind of glancing at him, looking back, glancing at him, looking back. He takes off, you go too. Okay. Always, always, always run all the way 100% through home plate when you are scoring. Okay, we had a play this weekend where our base runner knew that he wasn't going to, they weren't going to, there was not going to be a play at the plate. Okay, so he ran hard about probably 88 feet and then stopped, turned around and looked at the ball being thrown into third base, and they tagged our runner out. Okay, I'll be honest with you. Now they counted the run. All right, the umpire was wrong. Okay, that was the third out at third base, and we were tagged out before we touched home plate. Okay, we were fortunate. Okay, because if that third out is made before you cross the plate, your run doesn't count. Okay, run hard all the way through the plate, and then you can always turn around and look at what's going on. Okay, but never assume just because they're not making an out on you that they might not be making a play somewhere else. And if that's the third out, we just cost ourselves a run. Always run hard all the way through the plate. This play right here is a little bit of an advanced play, okay, but I'll cover it real quick. If there's a runner on second base and you're the batter, okay, and more on the big field than anything, but if there's a runner on second base, you're the batter, and it's a 3-ball count, okay? If ball 4 is, and this is, nobody's on first, only if a guy's on second, okay? If ball 4 is a wild pitch that gets to the backstop, you go 100% down to first base, and you start going, you round it and start heading to second base. Because if that catcher, and if you're the runner on second, you got to sprint to third, because if that catcher goes all the way to the backstop and throws the ball all the way to second base, all right, and the team's not going to do it correctly, okay? I haven't seen a high school team that does this correctly, all right, nor a college team that does this correctly, all right, because nobody covers these things, all right? But if it happens rarely, okay, but it might win you a baseball game. You go all the way to second. If that catcher throws the ball all the way to second, the guy that was on second that's running to third scores, and he scores easily. You just put the brakes on and you can run back to first base. Okay, that's going to end up being a 200-foot throw. All right, that's almost a 200-foot throw. That's like a outfielder throwing the ball all the way to home plate and airmail and not having a cutoff man, and you just take an extra base. Okay, so if it's man on second, ball 4 is a wild pitch to the backstop, you just keep going to second base, and the guy on second is going to come around and score if they make the throw. Okay, he's probably going to hold the ball, and now we have second and third. The last thing I'm going to say, in amateur baseball, we get this backwards. Okay, I'm going to talk base running and defense. All right, guys play defense in a rush. They play defense way too fast, and they make mistakes. On base running wise, they play too hesitant, they play too careful, and then they don't put pressure on the defense, they don't create mistakes, and they don't take the extra bases that are given to them. We have to flip that, okay? Play defense efficiently, and don't be in such a rush. You have way more time to make plays on defense than you think. And then when you think that you don't have that time, you're too quick, you throw a ball away, and all heck breaks loose, okay? Slow yourself down defensively and just be efficient, and you'll make the plays. Offensively on the bases, play the game like your hair's on fire, okay? Play the game like your hair's on fire. If you play the game fast on the bases, you will score a lot of runs and win a lot of baseball games. All right, guys. Thanks for listening. Hope that helped out. If you have questions, ask me, okay? I'm here to help. Ask your coaches. We're here to help you. We're here to teach you guys how to play the game correctly. Never be afraid to ask a question. All right, guys. Thanks.